What happens when a fly lands on your food? Houseflies are more disgusting than you realize. Just look at what they do to your food. Flies have no mouths or teeth. They can't bite or chew. So how do they eat solid food? By dissolving it, of course. When a fly lands on food, it vomits. It spits out a blob of saliva. Fly saliva contains potent enzymes. They dissolve organic matter. It turns into a kind of smoothie. The fly then sucks it up through its proboscis. The regurgitated digestive fluids aren't just gross. They can be potentially dangerous to humans. That's because flies also feed on feces and animal carcasses. This stuff gets regurgitated. It contains a huge number of pathogens. Flies also poop it out all the time. The longer a fly stays on your food, the more dangerous. A single touchdown is unlikely to cause harm. But when flies land out of sight and wonder, it's more serious. Houseflies can carry 65 different diseases. That includes dysentery, diarrhea, cholera, and even leprosy. Moreover, flies are filthy, both inside and out. The highest concentration of germs is actually outside. A fly literally leaves germs in its footsteps. Their number is normally too small to be dangerous. But if there's a virus, it may be enough to infect a person. Another thing flies do is lay eggs in food. Food is the perfect nest for housefly eggs. About 100 to 150 eggs are deposited by one female. Eggs may hatch in 7.5 hours when it's hot. In cooler temperatures, it may take 2 days. Eggs hatch into tiny maggots. They feed on the material in which they find themselves. Mature larvae stop feeding and burrow out of sight. They pupate, turning into brown pupae. Inside the pupae, a larva changes into an adult fly. A fly emerges from the pupa, fully grown. It mates within 1 or 2 days of emerging. The life cycle from egg to adult may take as little as 1 week. Houseflies normally live about 2.5 weeks during the summer. At lower temperatures, they can survive up to 3 months. Some overwinter outdoors, in protected locations. All this only applies to houseflies. Fruit flies and wasps are generally harmless. They can theoretically transmit diseases, but this only happens through their feet. Wasps are more likely to carry pathogens. They can crawl on things like rotten meat, but most of the time, it's safe to eat food touched by a wasp. Fruit flies are even more harmless in this regard. Interestingly, wasps have no jaws. What people mistake for their jaws are mandibles. They are more akin to crab claws. Wasps use these mandibles to cut off pieces of solid food, but adult wasps are incapable of eating solids. They only harvest this food to feed their grubs. Adult wasps can only consume liquids. They have a proboscis, just like flies, but they don't regurgitate to eat. To get as much energy as possible, wasps look for sugars. That's why they're attracted to sweet food. Fruit flies eat the same way houseflies do. They eject their own saliva on food to liquefy it. But since they only feed on fruit, their saliva isn't harmful. It doesn't contain stuff found in housefly saliva.